Okay. Hi. Okay. So let's talk about the transition of what this quarantine brought. Okay. Now, this quarantine has really brought a transition for everybody. It has brought a transition of really allowing certain wounds, past, or things that we have not ever dealt with or coped with. This quarantine has brought up all of that within us. Okay, that's why it was extended. That's why so much time was based on every single person spending it alone with themselves, with God. So this quarantine has really brought a lot of people to um another level spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and energetically and vibrationally, okay? When I say this quarantine has, see, you got to understand this, that a lot of times if we are going through a transition, right? A lot of times that transition is not going to be comfortable. A lot of times that transition is going to require us to have to feel uncomfortable. Sometimes it's going to require us to not fully be ourselves, okay, like we would normally be, okay? But what you have to understand that in this transition of everything that we've been going through with this quarantine, this is just a transition for us mentally, emotionally, and physically, okay, to really begin to understand ourselves, okay? So a lot of times, even when it comes to dating or your relationships or your friendships or in every area of your life, okay, understand that when is your time to heal. You know what I'm saying? Take that time to heal, you know? Don't try to force yourself out before time. You know, understand that if it's a season, if it's a time for you to heal, then that means that you have to protect your God spirit within you. That means that you have to protect your energy at all times. And this is the thing, a lot of times, the reason why we begin to hurt more when we're going through a transition of healing is because we get depleted. Okay. So a lot of times when you're going through your transition of healing, or you're going through your transition of a lot of stuff is just coming up in you that's probably bringing forth a lot of tears and in reflection, okay? And you reflecting on things, okay? What happens is when you're in that transition stage, sometimes you have to understand that you have to at all times protect your God-given spirit. You have to at all times protect your energy, because what happens is when you're continually trying to go through your transition of healing, and then you're constantly trying to give out to people and give out to people and be everything that people want you to be for them, what happens is that you deplete your own self, okay? You feel depleted, okay? And I promise you, it is nothing worse in this world than when you have given all your energy away, when you have given all your God spirit away within you, and you deplete it, and you have nothing left within you to show for it. So a lot of times, understand that if you're going through a transition of healing, you have to really protect your energy. You really do. You gotta protect your God-given spirit, because you can't fully give to other people if you have not fully given to yourself. You can't fully be equipped to, even if you do it, even if it's an energy transfer where you're able to bless somebody else, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. But what you want to do is be mindful who energy you're transferring with, okay? Because you can be transferring with other people energy, and it makes you more depleted. It makes you more exhausted than anything. So understand that you have to protect your God-given spirit within you. So, and that comes with dating. if you're a single man or woman and you're dating, you have to protect your energy. You have to protect your God-given spirit within you. So if you feel within yourself as dating that a person is not right for you, or they're real argumentative, or every time they come around, every time you go around them, you feel like they sucking in. It's like you have to be mindful of these things. Okay, if you're in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? Energy is supposed to be transferring back and forth. So when another person has a good energy, then it's not going to deplete you. It's going to make you be a transfer back and forth to each other. And that's what it means with a God-given spirit. If somebody else has that God-given spirit, it's going to be a transfer back and forth, okay? It's not going to be you being depleted. It's going to be a transfer back and forth. So understand that, like I always say, whatever I get on here and talk about, it's not Googled. This is just coming straight from me, from my own life experience and what I have been through or dealt with or whatever. Okay. So I have been in positions where you constantly give your energy away to where you have nothing left for yourself. And that's why I can get on here and say, be mindful of your God-given spirit. Be mindful of your energy. Protect your God-given spirit within you. Protect your energy. Protect who you transferring that energy with. Protect that. Be mindful of it. Be mindful to understand that if you're going through a transition of healing, if you're going through a transition of however it is in your life, understand and be mindful that sometimes it's going to mean that you have to step back and not give anything out for a season. Sometimes it means that you have to step back and just really internally go ahead and heal from whatever you hurt from, so that you don't continue to give something out of yourself that's coming from lack. See, when you do a transfer of energy, you want it to be abundant. You want it to be prosperity. You want it to be a ever-flowing thing. You want it to be a balance. You want it to be a consistent thing where it's a flow, okay? That's what the transfer of energy means. That's what your transfer of energy and your God-given spirit within you is allowing to connect with, okay? So when it comes to dating, relationships, friendships, situationships, whatever it is, a lot of times we get in these situations thinking that we can go in and just boom, give all of our energy to some people. And sometimes you got to know who to put that energy into, and sometimes you got to know when to step back and preserve your own shit, because I promise you nobody's going to preserve it for you. So you got to know that everything that comes in your life does not deserve a reaction. If somebody is trying to argue with you or have an issue with you or just conjuring up stuff about you or want you to react to them, you got to know that that's just that person trying to get your God-given spirit. That's your person trying to take your peace. That's that person or that situation's trying to take your energy. And sometimes it is what it is. You got to detach yourself. Is that easy for everybody to detach themselves when they in relationships or in these certain connections? Nope, it's not. But when you are determined to protect your God-given spirit, when you are determined to protect your peace, when you are determined to protect your energy at all times, you'll know when you need to detach. You'll know when you need to step back and take some time for yourself to preserve your own energy, to allow God to build you back up, to allow yourself to get refreshed, revived, renewed. You'll know when you got to step back. You'll know when it's time for you to step into something, and you'll know when it's time for you to step out of something. You'll know when it's time for you to date that person, and you'll know when it's not meant for you to date that person. You'll know when it's time for you to stay in that relationship, and you'll know when it's time for you to come out of that relationship. You'll know when it's meant for you to stay connected to that friendship, and you'll know when it's meant for you to just let the friendship go. You will know in every area of your life if you just learn to protect your God-given spirit, protect your peace, protect your energy. Because I'm going to tell you this. When you can protect your God-given spirit, when you can protect your peace, when you can protect your energy, I promise you this, that's where creativity kick in. That's where you'll begin to really, really get creative. That's where you'll even begin to step into your purpose of learning what it is you're supposed to be doing and how you're doing it. That's when you'll begin to see things from such a new perspective. That's when God will give you a new set of eyes. But as long as you're just giving it away, as long as you're always reacting to people or situations or circumstance, or as long as you feeling like you gotta fix that person you're in a relationship with, or you gotta compromise who you are just to date a man or a woman, and you can't be yourself. See, as long as you constantly compromising who you are as an individual, as a person, as long as you can't take your own mask off to be authentically who you are, you're going to always be depleted of your energy, your God-given spirit, and your peace. Why? Because you're not authentically being who you are. You're not willing to take that mask off to say, this is who I am. So whether I lose the person or whether it works, it doesn't matter to me, because I'm a detached to preserve my God-given spirit. I'm going to detach to preserve my energy. I'm going to detach to preserve my happiness. I'm going to detach to preserve my peace. That doesn't make people cold-hearted. That means that you love yourself enough to protect who God is within you. You love yourself enough to protect your own energy, your own mind, your own peace, your own beauty. That's what that means. Real quick, I love you guys. You be blessed.